What's up, guys? So let's talk about the in-game economy of Archeworld and how it's going after 7 days here. So let's look at labor potions because this is probably the most important thing for a lot of people. They're like, why? Why is labor potion so cheap? So labor potion is 2.8 right now. I saw it as low as 2.5 BSLT, and so a lot of people are upset about this. And now let me explain, in my opinion, why this is not a bad thing, but a good thing for the actual health of the game and the economy, right? So labor potions are created from the houses, and then you use labor to pretty much open coin purses, open loot, and do any activities in games, for those that don't know. So as a free-to-play player, you only get approximately 200 labor points a day, give or take a little bit, depending on how many daily quests that you do. But as a paying player that has a house, you can earn, 2,000, 4,000 if you upgrade your bed, but generally people are going to earn 2,000 a day, plus those 200 standard free labor points, so around 2,200. Well, having the labor points being very, very cheap is a great thing for free-to-play players. People that are actually playing the game, they are now able to, just for a couple BSLT, go in and actually grab a labor potion and then start opening the coin purses and actually start earning more money by playing the game, doing the whole play to earn aspect, right? Where people get angry and upset is, hey, I'm not making as much money off of my house. Like, I thought I should make more money off of my house. Well, that statement is actually wrong too, because there's two big components out of the house, right? So you have labor, and then you have Archeum processing machines. And so the Archeum processing machine takes this incomplete Archeum, which is around 0.0014, and turns it into pure Archeum. So if we go over here, consumables into tool, we can see that the Archeum, the pure Archeum, for 5,000 is around 55 BSLT, and it's actually trending upwards in the last couple of days. So it got down as low as about 80 BSLT, and now it has rebounded up to about 100, 110 for the 10,000 bundles. So the amount of money that you can actually make out of your house is actually going up if you are processing your Archeum and doing those. The more Archeum machines that you have, the more amount of money that you're going to be making, which is what you would actually want for the game. Because if labor is really, really expensive, right, that means the small house is just the best value and the best return on investment, hands down. Why would you have anything else? Well, if Archeum is actually expensive and Archeum is the main income source of a house, you want a bigger and better house faster, sooner than you can, right? So because a tent can have one Archeum machine, a small house can have two Archeum machines, but you can also upgrade it further to a two-story house, which then has three Archeum machines. And then now in the medium house, you can actually start with, I believe it's three. I'm not 100% certain. So it's either three or four, and then I think you can upgrade it to get to the six, 5 or 6. So not 100% certain on this, but you get the gist of it. As you get a bigger house, you get more and more Archeum machines, all the way up to the mansion, which holds 12 when it's fully upgraded. So this system is actually working out better than what it did in Asia for houses, right? Because in Asia, the labor potion was so expensive that it was almost better to just sell your labor and not do any Archeum processing. Like that's kind of where it got to at certain points. It was just like, okay, just do labor. And then at that point, everyone just bought small houses. And it's like, well, fine, all the small houses are sold out. I'll go buy the medium one just so I can get the house again. But if Archeum keeps holding its value and keeps going up, that means the bigger houses are going to be better values and better returns on investments at faster rates. So overall, I like this flip of the economy here. And so some people are complaining and saying that the labor potions are really, really cheap because the labor pot is a reward in the roulette wheel that you can spin 100 times on the website. So that could be true also. It also is going to be very true that there's 2 servers worth of labor pots coming in, and there's not that many paying players actually playing the game. So we'll show you our reasoning behind this. It's the gear score rankings, right? So if we take a look at the ranking information, we can see the top 10 people, and there's only one person that has now jumped into tier 5, and so it's the Scissorman. Scissorman is leading the pack, and he's just blowing everyone else away, right? And no one else is anywhere near, not even probably trying tier 5 yet. And we can see this because the purple Archeum cores have just tanked in price, guys. So today they're down to, I think it's like 400 BSLT or 500 BSLT. Let's go take a look at the purple Archeum core and see where it is at now. So these guys, when Scissorman was upgrading his gear and doing his tier 5 attempts, he was buying them for 2,700 BSLT. Like now, in a couple of days, these things, the shards are down to 3.5. It's still very, very good value, right? Like if you're farming a shard, which they come out of those Hearthstone coin purses that only cost 10 labor points, getting something that is worth 3 or 4 BSLT is crazy. It's a great return. It's pretty much the best return on labor in the game. And this is also probably why that the labor potions are down some. Free-to-play players don't even need a lot of labor to open these Hearthstone bags. They, excuse me. They can open these bags just with their standard 200 labor points they get, because these Hearthstone bags are like 5 in an hour if you're farming, maybe less than that. So if you farm 4 hours a day or 5 hours a day, you might get 20 of these things, and then that's only 200 labor points, which you get for free. So there's no reason for the free-to-play players to actually need labor, right? So they can open up these things, get really, really good return on their investment. And we haven't got to the core yet. I need to change up the settings here. So many shards. All right, so yeah, the purple Archeum core, the cheapest one out there is 480. And if we go ahead and click on this, we can look at the sales history and we can see that none of them have actually been purchased today. It just started today. Today's a new day. But yesterday is very telling. Only one actually sold yesterday, and it was in the early parts of the day at 968 BSLT. So no one else is really investing into their character right now. They're just waiting. They're storing up money or BSLT. And they're just letting Scissorman be the #1 player with no competition. And as they're doing this, the prices come down. This is just the laws of supply and demand. If there is no demand for an item, the price will just plummet until someone says, hey, this is cheap, I'm going to buy it. And so what we're going to see is when someone decides, like, hey, 300 BSLT is cheap or 200 BSLT is cheap, they're going to buy up to, say, 500 or 600 BSLT, and they're going to buy them all. Like, they're going to be like, wow, look at all these good deals on the auction house. There's so many cores that are cheap, right? But a core alone doesn't do anything. You do need some other materials, and this is also part of the holdup. In order to upgrade your gear from tier 4 to tier 5, you do need Archeum, which again has been going up in value because people are getting there. But you also need Shadowgun rare crystals. So we go over here, we can see, we can do the Awakening Scrolls. So you're going to need a Shadowgun Arcane Crystal. And these things are not going down in value. These things are holding pretty steady around 400, 500 BSLT. And there's not many of them for sale, right? So in order to craft the scroll, you need to spend 20,000 Archeum, 3,000 labor, and some bright rift stones. But those are going to be pretty cheap. So the big other component is the Shadowgun Arcane Crystal. So if we look up that, we can see they're actually, I think they've gone up slightly. They're at 588 right now. Let's take a look at the sales history. Oh, wow. Nope, they've gone down a little bit. So they've gone up from 2 days ago. But again, no one, because you can see the exact same sales history right here. 0 and then 1. So, because the whole reason people are using these crystals is those upgrades to tier 5. So the tier 5 price is like is directly correlated with these Shadowgun Arcane crystals, and then also the core prices. What is interesting though is that these things aren't going down. You saw 2 days ago when there was 10 sold and 13 sold the day after. The price, the lowest price was $3.99, and then around $4.48, and then the next day it was $4.29, and then it got as high as $6.72 or $6.78. And now we're still seeing sellers are not lowering the Shadowgun rare crystal price. It's at 588 right now. They're holding steady, and they're not being greedy and like, hey, we need to just sell, sell, sell. Because they know that if someone wants to upgrade, they have to have this crystal, and this crystal is pretty rare and hard to get. You get this by opening up Shadowgun pouches, or upgrading up from the blue crystal into the purple crystal and so forth. So overall, I think the economy is in a good spot right now. I think this is a very, very good economy. It's really, really profitable to actually have houses, to upgrade them and get them into, you know, 2-story houses, have more Archeum machines. Do I think upgrading the Archeum machines might actually be worthwhile? That is questionable, right? Because it does cost 50,000 Archeum to upgrade your Archeum machines. So if we look in here, so it costs 50,000, and then it also costs one of the green Shadowgun crystals to upgrade it to tier 2, and then 1,000 labor points. That's a lot of Archeum, and it only just doubles the processing power of this thing. So it's not that good of a like return on investment, right? So instead of getting 1,000 Archeum a day, you're going to end up getting 2,000 Archeum a day. So that means it takes you 50 days to get back your initial investment on this machine. And it's not cheaper to process anything either, so you're still spending the same amount of labor points to do this processing. So essentially you have to wait 50 days before you get paid back, and then you start making more money off of this guy. But it's not even really more money, it's just you're just processing things faster at a faster rate. So whatever the Archeum price is, you know, it's going to be tied to that. If the Archeum price stays high, then yeah, you're making a lot of money at a faster rate. If the Archeum price goes down, it doesn't feel as good, you're not making as much money, and you've just sunken in 50,000 Archeum at this, you know, really high price. If you buy the Archeum at 110 right now, you're looking at spending 550 BSLT to invest into this Archeum machine, which just doesn't feel good. And it's probably way more smart to just go ahead and use that BSLT to rent out another property, because a small one is only going to cost you, you know, 110 to rent from XL Games, or about 100 from a player if you can find it. And then you need the design, which is 150, and so you can actually get 2 of those small lands and put down 2 beds and 2 Archeum machines for about the same price it's going to cost you to upgrade 1. And with 2 more processing machines and beds, you're actually coming out way ahead right there. So that's why you see land filling up quicker and quicker and quicker, because realistically, land is the first thing to go. Once all the land has been taken, then people start being like, okay, well, I'm forced to upgrade my Archeum machines if I want to increase my, you know, earning potential in the future and my output. So, but as of now, it's like you should go get land, which is the key selling point, right? You know, everyone should want land. We're also starting to see a small uptick in OpenSea, the land NFT sales. Those guys are also going up slightly as well. We're currently at 200 Matic for the floor price on the small lands. So let's go back here. Oh, got to change the settings here because we've been checking out some of the other prices. Yeah, so if we take a look, the lowest Matic land is 200 for a small land right now. The mediums have gone up slightly, so if we take off standard, we can see the medium prices. The mediums have gone up to about 435, 440. And then you see a bigger uptrend too. The larges have actually gained a lot more. They're around 950 currently. And then the extra larges are up to about 1500 for the cheapest. So it's not a huge increase in land, but it has started to kind of bounce upwards, it looks like. And that's just because people are starting to realize that, hey, The game is solid, the game is good, and land is how you can make a decent chunk of money. We also are coming right up to the land dividend, which doesn't get talked about enough, honestly. We'll do another separate video on this, but the land dividend is really, really powerful and really, really important. It's just free money that the company gives all the landowners based on the rental income that they make. So every single month, a land NFT owner is given free money from XL Games in the form of a airdrop based on how much income that they took in off their rentals. So it's really cool. We'll discuss that in another video. We'll also make an announcement when the dividend comes, because we do have a lot of houses. I think we have like 45 houses NFTs. So like we're gonna get a nice chunky dividend, nice just free BSLT airdrop come the first week of the month, because that's when they pay this out roughly. So overall, let me know your thoughts. What do you think about the economy? Are you happy? Are you unhappy about the economy? Love to hear your thoughts as always. That's why we're here, community building. Let's go. And I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. As always,